It's now time for Matt and Dan in the House of Quark. Well, a very good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Matt and Dan in the House of
Quark.
Exactly.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back wherever you are in the world. Hello and welcome.
Yes.
So you could be listening, watching first. Actually, you could be watching on our Facebook. You think I get that right by now, wouldn't you? On our
25 episodes in.
I know.
You got it.
You could be watching on our Facebook group at M&DHQ. That's at M&DHQ. Or watching us on our YouTube channel. Just type in Matt and Dan in the House of Quark. You'll find us there. Or listening to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, Breaker, and Overcasts and Pocket Casts as well. Wherever you're listening from or watching us from, hello and good day.
Hello.
Good day. Right there. So today's episode, because it's episode 25 now.
It is, yes.
And we have got an announcement. This is going to be the last of season 1.
Yes.
I am going to go back to the 7 seas. The sea is calling me now. So I am going back. I'm a mermaid, you see. No. I'm an entertainer at sea on
it's mating season.
Yeah. On a cruise line, so I'm going to go back mating season. So I am going to go back to that. But have no fear, of course. We will be back with more episodes, of course, in the future. So please stick with us. Keep liking our stuff, of course. And also, all our episodes are still on the internet, so you can still listen to them, of course, over and over again. Go on, do that. Listen to them over and over again.
Yeah, go back to episode 1. We might not be doing any more episodes for the time being, but you can go and watch or listen.
Exactly.
Rekindle the love.
Exactly. Right, and so we're going to start this episode off now with a segment that was quite new. It came out a few weeks ago on the show, and that is Would You Rather? It's now time for You've Got It. Okay, and so welcome to another edition of Would You Rather? Would you rather? Would you rather? Love.
I like this segment.
Right, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't mind going first.
Yeah.
All right then. So to kick us off, number 1, would you rather be Grand Nagus to the Ferengi or Chancellor of the Klingon Empire?
Ooh, do you know what? I thought of that one the other day. I didn't write that one down, but I actually thought of that one, yeah.
That's weird.
I think the Grand Nagus, because first of all, the voice, right? And second of all, I think...
Grand Nagus.
Grand Nagus. I think he's just, I don't know, he's just a very wealthy man.
Yes.
I want wealth, and I think... he has a lot of respect. I mean, Klingons, obviously, they get quite violent, don't they? And they try and take your place by, fighting and all that. Whereas,
and killing you,
where Ferengi is all about profit and things. And
yeah,
I don't know. I think I'm going to go for the Grand Nagus. Yeah, I think. I know it's a quick one, but I think, I'm the Grand Nagus. The Grand
Nagus.
So what about you?
I would probably say Grand Nagus as well, just because I love the Ferengi, though. I think I'd be good at being the sort of, not the leader of the Ferengi, but like the go-to man.
Yeah.
Like you say, wealth and
you get the staff thing as well. The
yes, that is cool.
Yeah.
With the little Ferengi head on the thing.
Yeah.
And like whenever people come to talk to you, they have to give you money. So,
exactly. So there we are. The Grand Nagus, definitely.
Yeah, Grand Nagus.
The Grand Nagus. Okay, so this is my first one.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a Section 31 agent or a time agent? Now, I guess they kind of sort of connect in some shape or form, I'm guessing. But yeah, for this, I'll say there's two separate things. So Section 31 agent or a time agent.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Section 31 or time agent. To be honest, I think Section 31, just because I think I quite like the whole espionage spying aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot like Julian Bashir, I quite like, the James Bond sort of genre, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think I would easily get, if I was a time agent, I would easily get confused. I'd be like, so what year am I now? Like,
Oh,
what can't I do?
I haven't told you that yet. That's coming up next year.
Yeah. Or I'd like, if I go
Yeah.
to the future, like I would accidentally let, vital things slip. Or,
Yeah. I guess
or I go
with
back.
631, you know a lot of secrets as well.
Yeah.
And I guess with a time agent, the thing is, like, again, you said it's kind of the butterfly effect, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you cause something to happen, and then um,
I would be like, have you seen that Simpsons episode where Homer doesn't he create a toaster or something that sends him back in time? And he keeps getting it wrong, and like I would be Homer.
yeah. I see. I always think of Blackadder. Is it Blackadder the movie? The time machine one. Have you seen that one?
No, I've not seen.
You need to honest. Do you
I've
like
only seen
Blackadder?
I've only seen like the first couple of seasons, and Blackadder goes forth.
Oh, you need to watch like Blackadder properly. Honestly, Blackadder is brilliant, and the Blackadder film is genius, right? I mean, they go back in time. There's one bit that always sticks in my head is when Blackadder punches William Shakespeare and goes like, "This is for all the GCSE students that has to go for all your dribble," and there's one where basically the dinosaurs are wiped out not because of a meteor, it's because of Baldrick's pants. Yeah, he goes, "Smell my skids," and kills the T-Rex. It's brilliant, yeah. Right, so what would I prefer? I think time agent, actually. I don't know, I like the
Really?
idea I can go around different times and just see what's going on, basically. I like the idea of just I don't know. I like to see how far I can get into the future as well, and
Yeah.
see. Yeah. And also I think going back in time, you just feel really clever. So yeah, I'm from the 29th century, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for that. Actually, I think I'd be a
Awesome.
time agent. Yeah.
Time agent. Nice.
Well,
Well, I mean, you could be a time agent and work for Section 31.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
But for the purposes of this, obviously.
Yeah. I did think of that.
All right. Number 2. This one is tailored to you because I know you like, well, we both like him, but I want you to imagine, right, that you're creating your own Star Trek series for this one, okay?
Okay.
So, would you rather Jeffrey Combs guest star or have a crossover character from another Trek series? So, like, I don't know, Picard crossing over or Janeway crossing over. Or would you have Jeffrey Combs guest star?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, I mean, I love Jeffrey Combs, as you know.
Yeah.
But then I quite like the idea. I mean, I love to see Janeway and Cisco together. Like, that'd be cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think nothing creates a feeling just like that. It's that, like, and you proper geek out. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for the second one, I think. I like the idea of crossing over different characters, different spin-offs and things. Because I think, I don't know what it is, but it's something about that when that happens. It's like, like it's weird. It's like, they know each other. I don't know what it is, but it just, it's mutual friends. It's weird, but it really does make you geek out. So I'm going for that one, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it is nice when they, like, they come from 2 different shows.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. Ooh.
It's kind of, well, I mean, that's what the Marvel fans feel all the time, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, because especially, Endgame, the last one,
Endgame,
they were all there, So it's that feeling, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's such and when they all that sort of iconic scene when they all turn up in Endgame and like at the end battle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Spider-Man's there and like everyone's there.
No, exactly. So yeah, I'm definitely going for that one.
Yeah, me too.
Right then. So let's say you can have one Trek experience. Okay, let's say, I don't know, someone beamed down and said to you, right, Dan, you can have one Trek experience, but only one. Okay, would you choose, so out of 2 now, would you choose warp speed,
right,
to experience what it's like traveling at the speed of light, of course, on a starship, or to be beamed down somewhere, what would you choose? And only
Ooh.
one thing.
Hmm. So I could either experience warp speed on a ship or beam down somewhere. I'm gonna go with. I think I would love to experience warp speed.
Yeah.
Um, just I think it goes back to sort of my love of racing and stuff. I think it would just be nice to sort of sit in the chair and just watch this,
Yeah.
watch
All the stars.
all the
I always
stars
think,
and
like when you're in a car and it's like snowing, I always think that it's like warp speed, and all the snow is like, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Zoom.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And especially if I was sitting like I don't know, Tom Paris's seat or something, I think it'd be quite cool
Yeah.
experience. And just the idea that I could be like halfway across the galaxy in a matter of like seconds.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I
See,
mean? I'd love
yeah,
it.
I think I'm going to go the same as you, actually, because, I mean, beaming, if I'm honest with you, does sort of freak me out because, obviously, well, I mean, if you actually look at the science of beaming, I think you are basically killed and then reborn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in order to beam, you have to basically copy the atoms, but then in order to recreate the atom, you have to destroy the original atom. So technically, they die and get reborn every time. That's technically
Mm.
how it works. I tell you a good film that explains that a lot very well is, have you ever seen the film The Fly? It's a really
No.
old B movie, right? That
All right.
basically sums it up because the other idea, I mean, in the film The Fly, it's a very old film. I think it was in the 1950s it came out. I've got it on DVD actually, and the scientist actually walks in the machine, is a
Yeah.
transporter machine, and he walks in with a fly. But the problem is obviously it becomes half human and half fly. It's that, yeah.
Ah,
But
right.
The
Yeah.
Simpsons actually did a parody of it. You know, where Bart, you seen that one? Treehouse Horrors, and Bart becomes half human, half fly.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that we always go back to the Simpsons
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point.
Oh, Simpsons
Yeah.
done everything, and that was a parody of the film The Fly. So the idea is that, yeah, in order to beam, you'd have to destroy the original atoms to create new ones. So
Yeah.
technically, you do technically die in when you get beamed. That's the
It
only
is. Yeah,
rule.
it's quite
Yeah.
disconcerting, really, isn't it?
Hmm.
I've just started my TNG rewatch or my TNG rewatch.
Yeah.
I've just done an episode where I think they beam down to a planet and Geordie gets beamed upside down into a rock.
Yes. Yeah.
So- and he's just there hanging upside down. He says to Riker, "I got beamed into a rock." So like the thing, yeah, a lot could go wrong actually beaming down if like there's interference like with planet's atmosphere or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, because they are. Originally, like, they are quite skeptical of it, aren't they? Especially in Enterprise, they're like,
Mm.
"Is this going to kill me?" Like,
Because his son is the creative son, obviously gets stuck in it, doesn't he?
yeah,
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So,
So yeah.
but yeah, warp speed.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna
I'd
go
love
for
it.
warp speed, and also because I'd want to say, can I please say engage?
And get yeah, it's the little things, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, then number 3 for me. This one's a bit of a lukewarm one, really. I couldn't really think of another one, but anyway, it might be a good topic of conversation. Would you rather the original series Enterprise or the Kelvin series Enterprise in terms of design and like that?
Ooh. I mean, the original is the original.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got it here.
Ah,
The
yeah.
original series is the original, but the Kelvin it's just nice and shiny.
Yeah. Shiny. That's a good
It's
word. Yeah.
just it is. It's just I had it on my wall, didn't I? Obviously in my old
You
house.
did.
So
Yeah, because it's in Keith, isn't it?
yeah, it is in
Yeah.
Keith. Yeah, it does feature in Keith. Yeah, it is part of the mise en scène or mise en scène, whatever it is. It is
Yeah.
part of that. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go for original though because, like I said, it's the original one, and it's. I mean, you know me. I love what I love about old science fiction is that it's real. It's not so heavy on like CGI or all that. So
Mm.
for me, it's just history and all that. So, and I think if I was on there knowing how much I love the original series, obviously, that's the way I'm thinking of this now. I think I'd want to, kind of like when Scotty uses the holodeck on TNG.
Yeah, yeah, I like that
Yeah,
episode.
it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, the original.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think I'd agree, just because obviously it is the iconic
Mm-hmm.
sort of Star Trek ship,
Yeah.
isn't it? You think of Star Trek and you think of that. But don't get me wrong, I actually quite like the Kelvin,
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise. It's quite a nice update, but
Yeah. No, it is
uh,
shiny.
shiny and just new. And although, I mean, what I like about it is that they kind of updated the. It wasn't just touch screen; it was still like buttons and stuff. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it was.
Um,
No, you are right. Yeah,
but
yeah.
in a more modern way.
I
So I did like that,
prefer
actually.
the buttons. I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
prefer buttons. I don't want all this. The ones like lot of like, especially in Discovery and a lot of other like modern science fictions, where there's like gooey stuff or thing they put in there, and or it's like on Picard, it's all like hologram stuff, and it's all, and I don't
yeah.
know, I like
Gooey
buttons
stuff.
and beepies and beep 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 beep.
Yeah,
beep, You know what I mean? That's a ship,
yeah. That's a shit.
and the computer, is going. It sounds like like a proper robot. Like the computer says, you know what I mean? That's what I like. I like,
Yeah,
proper
that.
old school.
Yeah,
I like
working. Or what does it say? Yeah, working.
or like on like the original series when they're using VHSs and things. I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
Plug it in. It's like surely by then, yeah, something a bit more advanced. To going back to,
yeah,
I think Red Dwarf actually does mention VHS in some shape or form when they say something
yeah.
like
They do.
when we went back to videos because it was easier or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think we discussed that in our Red Dwarf
Yeah,
episode, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I go for original, definitely.
Original series, absolutely.
Right, and so would you rather try blood wine or try a racticino?
This is a similar one to what I was thinking,
Oh,
because
okay.
I lost my original note. I had to do a new notes thing because I lost. I must have accidentally put it in a bin or something, and I had a similar one. So what was it? Blood
So
wine or Ractigino?
racticino.
Ractigino. Blood wine or Ractigino. I think I'm going to go with Ractigino just because I think I'm more of a coffee person than a
Yeah, same.
than a. I
Yeah.
think I I think I mean, me, like after one drink I'm sort of blottoed, I'm a bit of a lightweight, so um uh yeah, I think I would probably, after one sip of, I think blood wine would be very strong.
Oh yeah.
Even strong for you, and I know you can hold your drink. So um yeah, I'm gonna go with, and I prefer coffee. I just prefer the taste of coffee than you know.
Well, I've always wanted. I've been looking for one on the internet. I can't find one. I've always tried to look for the DS9 mugs that they use when they have a racticino. When Cisco goes, good old racticino when he's drinking it.
Yeah,
I've always wanted one of those mugs. That they
yeah.
use. Well, Cisco drinks out of, and I can't find
You
one.
can't find it. I'd have thought they would have been.
I'm thinking about the
later.
metal one he has, not there's two different kinds, isn't it, I think, but there's one that Cisco uses, and I've always been like, "Ooh, I like that one." It's like a metally one, silvery color one.
I think I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I've always wanted that one, and I can't find it anywhere.
Right.
Anyone know? Tell me.
Yes, let us know.
Send me the link to eBay or wherever it is.
Yeah, I was thinking eBay or Amazon or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But, yeah, I think Ractigino, just because I like. I mean, I see it's a coffee based drink,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Cisco likes it.
yeah. I think Janeway would like it as well. She likes her coffee.
yeah.
Yeah, Ractigino, I think, and everybody. It seems quite a popular thing. I think.
Yeah.
Blood wine would be quite an acquired taste. I think, unless you cling on, because
Yeah.
there's an episode I think where in DS9 towards the end, the not the ambassador, the admiral tries blood wine, and he's like, he doesn't really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it is mainly for Klingon taste buds. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with that.
But because I was thinking actually, I mean, I was thinking sort of something like Cardassian Canar. I know that's quite another alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
That but that looks quite nice.
Yeah. No, it does actually. Yeah.
Um,
Alien alcoholic beverages.
Alien alcoholic beverages. That's an idea for season 2.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So what about you? Would you try Ractigino as well? Would you? Or
Frappuccino, yeah. Because
Ractigino?
I just like the idea of Cisco drinking it from the mug. That's literally the only reason why, to be honest.
Fair enough. It's a good reason.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right then, number 4 for me. This one's a good one. Would you rather see a series about a young Janeway or a season? Oh, start again. Would you rather see a series about a young Janeway or a series about an older Janeway? Like like how Picard's set
Mm,
20 years
like
later.
a prequel
Yeah,
of Janeway,
like a Janeway in Starfleet, like Academy, like a young
mm.
Janeway, or an older Janeway, like how like Picard is set 20 years later,
Yeah. No, I
something
know
like
what you
that.
mean. Yeah, I think
Young,
younger actually. I don't know why. I quite like the idea of a prequel there. Yeah,
yeah,
I like to know Janeway's background a bit more. A bit better and
yeah,
how she. And also, yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that. I think,
I think it's more interesting, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. No, I think so. I think I like the idea of learning about. I mean, I think that's what made the Kelvin universe, quite appealing at the start because obviously it started with Captain James T.
Mm,
Kirk as a young boy.
yeah,
And that's what makes you interested. So I think it'll be that. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that younger Janeway.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And yeah, I think she would have had an interesting life. I'm interested to see how she got on, like how she made her way up to captain, like the
Mm-hmm.
because obviously different ships that she served on, and like because we know obviously Picard served on the Stargazer and things like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
just her, like how she became captain, because she obviously
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
She didn't come out of the academy and was just automatically captain.
Well, no, of course not. No.
um, so yeah, um,
Mm,
I would go with young Janeway as well. There's a
yeah.
book actually that I want to read. That's I think it's probably written by a fan. It's Janeway's autobiography.
Ah, yeah. I've got the Captain Kirk one.
Oh, have you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've only read a little bit of it actually, but I've got
Ah,
it somewhere. Yeah. I think
nice.
there's a Spock one you can get as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there is, and I think there's a
Yeah.
Picard one as well, actually.
Ah, cool.
But I definitely want to read the Janeway one. So
Yeah. Ah, awesome.
yes, awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so would you rather listen to the TNG theme or the
Ooh.
Voyager theme?
Ah, oh man, that's a good one. Because like I say, I've started rewatching TNG again, and I forgot how good the theme tune actually is. Do 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 do. Or Voyager. I'm gonna say Voyager just because I think it is actually a much grander theme tune. I think
Yeah.
it excites me more than TNG actually. Uh,
I,
just like
I prefer Voyager actually. I'll be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's a great theme. I mean,
yeah.
it was the tune of Trek News. That's why.
Yes, exactly. I just like the opening sort of bars. Duh, duh, duh.
Yeah.
And then the drums come in. It's just so exciting. Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, much prefer listening to the Voyager theme tune if I'm honest.
Yeah. No, me too. I love the opening credits as well of Voyager.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I agree. Definitely Voyager. Yeah.
excellent. It is a good theme tune. All right then, and then my last one. Which this is a would you rather, but it's uh, written differently. Which two characters would you rather see merged like Tuvix?
Hmm.
So you know how like Tuvok and Neelix became Tuvix.
Yeah.
Which two characters would you rather see merged out of the whole entire
Oh,
franchise?
right. Is that the whole entire franchise?
Yeah.
Ooh. Um. Wow.
I know it is a hard, difficult one, but I couldn't think of any others. So I thought, oh, that's a
I
good one.
mean, I think I go for something really, really bizarre because I
Yeah.
like to see how they would even do it with makeup. And
Okay.
that
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
be Quark and Worf.
That's literally what I've got written down.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That excited me then.
Yeah.
This is why we're best friends.
Here we are, exactly.
Yeah. Because I wrote my one down. That's what I would choose as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mainly because of the makeup, I'm honest with you, more
Yeah.
than anything. And also, I want to see how the actor manages to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to begin myself, but yeah, that's all. I would like to see how those creative minds, especially like says in makeup, how they would work on that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and how would it happen? That's what I like to know is how would it be like sort of the transporter room story that we had with Tuvix, or I don't know, how would them two end up together in
Yeah.
one as well? That's
Yeah, because
yeah.
they are quite, they're not the best of friends, are they? They're
No,
quite reluctant to sort of spend any time together. So, yeah,
and they are total opposites as well.
yeah,
So
which is why I think that it would
also,
work.
what would we call them? What would be their name?
Walk,
Walk.
or
Walk.
or Quarf, or I don't know,
Quarf, yeah.
Quarf.
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 I am Quarf.
I am Quarf. Yeah, but to have Worf's ridges and like
Yeah,
Quark's
yeah.
ears, just yeah.
Yeah,
Who
I
would
like to
play
see
him?
that.
I don't
I
know who
know,
would.
yeah. Jeffrey Coombs.
Jeffrey Combs, yeah.
He can do anything.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. That's it. I like that one. That was good.
Good, yeah. That's weird that you picked the two that I would have picked.
Yeah.
That's quite cool.
I was at the whole like Star Trek cast as well. And I mean the whole cast of all the different series as well. So
That's quite nice that we picked the same. Anyway,
Okay, so my last would you rather. Okay.
yes.
Would you rather be Picard's number one or first officer or Janeway's number one / first officer?
Oh, that's a good one. Picard's number one or Janeway's number one? That's a tough one. That is a really difficult one because I like both. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Janeway.
Yeah.
From like a personal point of view, I think from a personal point of view, I think I would, I prefer having like a female boss, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Just I don't know. I think that's just a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always sort of been surrounded by women. Like I grew up with 3 sisters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I would respond to sort of being, for that personal reason. I think I would prefer to have, a female sort of, boss or manager or sort of, and I think she'd be, quite,
Yeah.
quite a nice captain to have. And I think,
Yeah.
and she's quite cool as a captain. I think she's a bit more relaxed, I think, than Picard.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wouldn't like take liberties with her, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I'd just get on better with Janeway from a personal point of view.
See me, I really would like to just experience being commanded by Captain Picard. I just think he's just a legend, isn't he? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Say you worked, underneath him, I think would look great on your Starfleet CV.
This is true, and you would learn a lot. Actually, you
Yeah.
would learn a lot from Picard. Actually,
Yeah. So I'm gonna go for Picard, and also I love Patrick Stewart. So
yes, yes.
So I'm gonna go for Picard, and then ask him about. Hang on, so I heard this Professor Xavier or something in the X-Men. I don't know if you know anything about him. Is he a cousin or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I would go for Picard. I think,
Picard.
yeah, he's the one for me. I think yeah, like you said, learn a lot, and I just think it'd just be a great experience to work under. Say he's a legend, you know. And I think Picard be one of them names people go, "Oh, you've worked with Captain Picard," you know. And yeah, John Janeway gets respect as well, but I think Picard just, you know, I do think Picard is just a bit more. I mean, everyone knows Picard, everyone respects Picard.
Yeah.
It's that, you know.
I mean, I do like that thought of, somebody looking at your CV and go, "Oh, wow, you've worked with Picard." That's, that can only create, doors and opportunities for you, really, can't?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
So why do you want to work for BT? Right, yeah. So yeah, definitely, I'm gonna go for Picard.
Awesome.
Right then. So that was today's Would You Rather. It's now time for You've Got It. Right then, folks. So, as we said, it is episode 25. If you haven't read the description yet, you will know. Or if you haven't read it yet, you wouldn't know. But we're telling you now. It is, of course, episode 25, and it's about another sci-fi series that we love. It is Farscape.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, the dog's, the postman's just been so.
Oh, that's what happened to me as well. Our dogs went mad as well. Right, so Farscape. I absolutely loved it. What a television series. Amazing.
I'm so glad we're talking about this, actually. This is another along the lines of Battlestar Galactica, where if you say something's good, it is going to be good. Because again, obviously you recommended this to me, and it was, very good.
Now, I just want to say, I mean, I don't want to jump too much into production yet, because obviously I got that as a point. But
yeah,
obviously we're talking about what we like and what we didn't like. I just want to say that production for me was one of the main things that really did get me into Farscape. I think it's because it was the Jim. Is it Jim Henson? Is it Jim or Tim?
I know. I don't.
Jim Henson, isn't it? Jim Henson.
I know it's
Company.
Henson, but I don't know what his.
I think it's Jim Henson. Jim Henson Company. Of course, the man who did the Muppets and all that, wasn't it? And obviously Kermit the Frog and all that. So I know that they're like brilliant puppeteers, and that's what it's all about. And that's what I loved about this was that everything, again, like I love about science fiction, everything was real. It wasn't so focused on visual effects. It was all like, I mean, you had a character called Rigel. He was a puppet. You had, of course, the pilot. He was a puppet as well. And I mean, there's one scene, season 1, in the first few episodes, where Rigel's in jail, and next to him is this giant monster, alien warlord thing, and that's and I loved that, and I could tell that was a puppet, but I didn't care, like, because to me it made me feel even better about it, because it was just it was brilliant, and it was so well done, and and you could tell the people who worked on the show were so talented. Do you know what I mean? It was so much talent in this show. So I know I sort of kind of jumped to production, but I've got to mention it. That's one reason why I absolutely loved this.
That's what you liked about it, I guess.
Exactly, was the production, the way they made it, into what it is, and so clever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So clever.
For me, what I liked is just it's so different to like things like Star Trek and Stargate and Battlestar Galactica. It is almost as if it's sort of like I know it's like set in a different sort of universe to Earth, obviously, because John Crichton he ends up going through a wormhole and sort of on the opposite side of the galaxy or universe or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I don't want to say Star Wars, but it has that sort of feel to it, doesn't it? It's
adventure, say
adventure. Yeah. And just the look of it, it's very sort of wacky and
it's surreal, isn't it?
Surreal, yeah. But the surrealism is what makes it. It's is obviously Rigel. Yeah, he's a puppet, but it's like you see him as a character, and do you know what I mean? I just love the whole wackiness of it, and it's just instead of things like warp speed, they've got
Starburst.
Starburst.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
just things like that. I love that it's a different type of
I
sci.
hate Starburst.
I think for me it's a different type of sci-fi to what we're
Yeah.
used to. Being a Star Trek fan and a
Mhm,
Battlestar Galactica fan, it's just
mhm,
it's whilst it has my favorite things of starships and
mhm,
space and stuff and planets and aliens,
mhm.
it just the tone of it is very different to what I'm used to in
See,
terms
I
of
love how you've said that because I don't know if this is going to bring a bit more language to it now, but I would say it's like you said, it's a science fiction, but it has like this weird fantasy sort of element to it that I
mm,
really love. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it has this sort of, and I don't mean like fantasy as in it's about dragons and blah blah blah. I mean it's just this has this sort of nice like feel to it, like
mm,
kind of like touches on things like like Labyrinth and Neverending Story. It has that
yeah,
kind of feel to it, that fantasy feel, but
yeah,
within science fiction. If that makes sense, like I don't know what it is,
absolutely,
but
yeah.
it that's what I sort of connect it with.
That is good.
Mm,
That is, yeah. Yeah, that is a good word for the fantasy genre. I
mm,
couldn't think of that, but it is a nice sort of
mm.
blend of sci-fi and fantasy, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. And it does. Yeah, you're right. It does have a especially labyrinth feel to it.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
just obviously with the lighting and stuff and how it sort of looks there. And again, it's nice to have sort of humans and like
Hmm.
different sort of aliens and humanoids and things like that as an ensemble cast. I love that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, we talked about Battlestar Galactica last week. That was just
Hmm.
mainly humans, wasn't it? But
Hmm.
this Farscape's totally different. As you know, you got things like Pilot, who's just this. I can't remember. He's a Leviathan, isn't he? Or the ship's the Leviathan, but
Hmm.
he's a
I can't remember his species, but yeah, his
yeah,
species basically grew up to be pilots. That's basically
yeah, yeah.
it, isn't it?
Um,
Of Leviathans.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, the ship is alive.
Yeah,
They're in
yeah.
a. They're actually. The ship isn't actually an alien called a
Mm,
Leviathan. It's just but it's also their ship, and I love things like that. And
mhm.
like the ship has a baby.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant, and yeah, I very much like the whole like you say, fantasy sort of sci-fi thing. It's I think for the time that it was made, it's quite a refreshing sort of TV show, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Because for years you had like, Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and Stargate and other sort of things set in space and that.
Mhm.
But this sort of, I think, kind of broke the mold a little bit. It kind of brought together, like you say, puppetry and yeah, the fantasy element of
Mhm.
it, and sort of just yeah, it kind of yeah, it took sci-fi to a different level, I think.
Mhm. I think it helped a lot. I don't know if you've seen other Jim Henson projects. They did the Dark Crystal. Have you seen the Dark Crystal?
Oh, I know of that, but I've not seen it. Yeah,
I think Netflix recently did a
yeah,
series on it. I
yeah,
haven't seen that. If I'm honest. I've seen the film though, like from I think it came out in the 80s, which I absolutely love because again, it's all puppets, and that's why I think it was the first full feature length film to feature only puppets or
all
full
right.
puppet cast or something like that. I read somewhere,
Mm.
and that's again a fantasy. And it's quite dark as well. And that's why I find that they really did filter through into the science fiction world was that from the Dark Crystal, that whole dark fantasy feel and with puppetry and things and the dark colors that they use, and they really did filter that nicely into the science fiction world. So then we connect to things like we said Star Wars and Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica. So I love how the Henson company managed to what I mean, step into the
Mm.
TV sci-fi genre. And it's great, yeah.
I think a nice quirk about it is that you've got like human actors
Yeah. Uh-huh.
interacting with puppets, the main characters themselves. I love
Mhm.
that. I think I've recently started watching on BritBox a TV series. You might have heard it called The Secret Service. It's
Mm.
by Jerry Anderson and Sylvia Anderson.
Okay.
And it's like the same makers of Thunderbirds,
Right,
um,
okay.
and it's like they're puppets, but they're also humans, if that makes sense. Like when you see them like establishing shots, they're humans, but like the close-ups are actually puppets, if that makes sense.
Okay. I have to
Um,
watch this. It sounds
it's
interesting.
really quite cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So sort of, when, for instance, when they're driving a car, they're humans, but then when it goes inside the car, they're actually puppets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but for that aspect, I like, because it's not an actor playing to, a green screen or like a sort of a little ball on a stick. It's an actor playing to an actual puppet,
Yeah, yeah.
and I love that. That sort of brings a sort of a nice.
hmm
As someone who likes performing, I'd love that because it's more playful and more fun to play to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
guess,
more
yeah.
artistic.
Yeah, more artistic, definitely. Because I always think when you think about all these things with science fiction, like I always think like like the Phantom Menace of Star Wars,
Mm,
took away that. It was. I
yeah,
mean, there's a lot of jokes about Jar Jar Binks, Jar Jar green screen or whatever,
yeah.
and it is true. It's just it's a shame. I wish Jar Jar was a physical thing, really.
Mm,
And I don't like that really when it's all CGI. I don't mind a little bit of the bit there and a bit there, and it's great. Of course, CGI is important. I do like it. Of course, I'm not knocking CGI completely. Of course, I'm not. But I love the idea that using just making something out of nothing. Things like robots, robotics and puppetry. I remember, I've mentioned before when I met that Yoda guy, Nick,
oh
that
yeah.
Yoda guy in Saint Martin in the Caribbean, and he was one of the guys who worked on Yoda, and you get to see like the original mold of Yoda, like how he molded him in clay, and the
Mm.
robotics that he built himself to make Yoda move in certain scenes, and I love all that. To me, that's important. Like that's it's and I like to be able to see that. I know you could easily make a Farscape museum. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
no,
I would love
yeah, yeah.
that.
You know what I mean? Though
Absolutely.
you could
Yeah.
do it, like, and with the
Yeah.
things like the Phantom Menace, it's like, well, just green screens, and it's like you just see Jar Jar Binks' ears, maybe, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true.
So yeah, I mean, and I love, like I said, making something out of nothing. I mean, I love things like Wallace and Gromit as well,
Mm.
because it's all like clay motion things. I love that all the early South Parks were literally, I think they used to call it collage animation, where they used to cut things out and stick things on, and they used to
Yeah.
move around like that because they were bits of paper moving around, and they used to
Yeah.
stick
Yeah.
photos. I love all that though. That's it's just so creative, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It really is.
I like as well. Farscape is a very easy watch. Uh,
hmm
like I didn't find, how sometimes it takes you a while to sort of get into a series. For me, I
hmm
was able to sort of, from episode one, enjoy it a lot.
hmm
I think I remember when I first started watching, I said to you, "Yeah, I'm going to really enjoy this."
hmm
Um,
Well,
because it is.
I discovered it on accident. If you remember, I discovered it. It was on, I think it was Channel 5 or something on my
Yeah.
TV, and it was halfway through an episode. I think it was the episode. There's an episode. I think it's like season 3. I think right at the end of season 3, and all I remember is a freaky looking alien. That's what brought me. It's a freaky looking alien, and I can't even think. Doesn't Aaron go and see her father or something? And then there's like this freaky looking alien, something to do with her baby as well. And there's like this freaky looking alien. All I remember is a freak. I can't remember what
I
episode.
mean,
It's
there's
just
a
a
lot of
freaky
freaky
look.
looking
I know, but
aliens.
there's this one that always that they literally did quite. It haunted me for a bit, to be honest. It was quite scary looking, but it made me interested. I was like, that's really interesting. What's
Yeah,
this
because
about?
her father's an alien, yeah. Her
Yeah.
father is an alien, isn't it? Like
hmm
I mean, she's humanoid, but he's like a. They kind of look like. Is it the one that looks a bit like a dragon?
I can't.
In red. In red. I can't remember what they're called. The main.
It was like this weird little thing. I remember. I swear it was like, and it
Oh
was.
right.
I can't. I remember it really freaked me out, and I can think of it now. I just can't think of what it looked like. As in, like, I can, but I can how to describe it. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to have a good think and
Do a
think what it
Google.
was. But yeah, I remember I discovered it on accident, and
Mm.
I was just thinking, oh, that looks interesting. And then I went for a few years, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch it because it's mainly because of work and thing. I just never really had time, And eventually, I did buy it all
Mm.
on DVD, and then to be honest, this lockdown actually helped me because I got to watch it properly. Because sometimes I watch things and then I can't finish it or something because I'm on the ship, and all that. So I finally got to just watch it properly, and oh, I'm so happy I did. It
They're
was
all on. They're all on Prime now. They're Prime Video.
yeah, they're all on Prime now. Yeah, they're all on. They used to be, I think, on Netflix one point as well.
Oh, probably everything used to be on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But yeah, any key moments as well that you want to talk about within the
I
series?
think what's nice is there's an episode I do want to talk about, but I think for key moments,
Hmm.
it goes back to me saying it's an easy watch. It's sort of it has this one continuous story, which is John Crichton trying to get back to Earth, but actually his path is set out. He's got the knowledge of wormhole travel and stuff already in him, and like there's this war with the male aliens whose species I can't remember the name of, and um,
Hmm.
obviously he's got this nice rivalry sort of link with Scorpius, um, the guy with the you know uh,
And that was genius how they put Scorpius in his head.
yeah, I
That
love
that
that
was
aspect, yeah.
genius.
And like just when you think that he's actually got rid of him,
Yeah,
he's actually not. And I love that he calls him Harvey as well. Or is
yeah.
it Harvey or Humphrey?
I think it's Humphrey, isn't it? Yeah.
Humphrey, yeah. Humphrey or Harvey, I can't remember.
Sorry, I
Um,
just found online someone done a Photoshop and they put Bernie Sanders in the Farscape cast.
really?
So I've been trying to find that small alien, but I can't find it anyway. I think I'll have to give up, I'm afraid, on that. But yeah, no, I mean, I have a look at this. This just made me laugh. Hang on, I gotta show you this. There we go. This just made me laugh. It's just they actually put Bernie Sanders. You see that?
Hold on, yeah, I'll just move you.
Just...
Such an iconic meme.
Right, you were saying, sorry.
I can't remember what was I saying.
About obviously they put well, he's in his mind, isn't he? He's in
Yeah,
Crichton's mind. Yeah.
Scorpius is in
Hmm.
Crichton's mind. Yeah, so I quite like the sort of the bitter rivalry between Scorpius, and then like they end up having to work together and sort of they're on the same side, and yeah,
Hmm.
I quite that for me is quite a nice standout sort of part of the series. But my favorite episode is where I think John's in a coma or something, and it's that one where I refer to it as the Looney Tunes episode.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that most of the episode is just a Looney Tunes animation of
Uh-huh.
you know uh, Scorpius is animated like a Looney Tunes character, and Dargo is animated like a. Do you know what I mean? You know the
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know exactly. It's obviously based on Roadrunner, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Roadrunner.
Coyote and Roadrunner. Meep, meep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's...
The fact that it could just do that as well, like I mean, it's so genius.
Hmm.
You know, so that for me that was probably my favorite episode, if I'm
Hmm.
honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I just love, like you said, obviously it is an adventure that Crichton is on, and I just love the idea that um, it starts in like the 90s, doesn't it? Obviously, or like
Mm,
late 90s, early noughties, that period. Which we're obviously from, that's where we
yeah.
came from. So that's what I love about it. And then he goes to that wormhole, obviously, and then he learns all this new technology and this new way of life, basically. And I just love how they made it part of, like, so they made it real, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Like, it is part of, like, the real world. But it's what's interesting. It's like it's so close to home because it's set in like modern times, but because of the whole wormhole thing and being able to go to the other side of the universe, they've managed to make it, like you said, so wacky and so surreal. So
Yeah.
that's what I just love about, and I think for me, it's just the key moment is definitely him just going through that wormhole and coming out of the other end. I just think it's brilliant, and the way he interacts, of course, with the characters in those first few episodes, and eventually, obviously, he gets to know them, and that character development is just amazing. Like Crichton starts off as a nobody, then he becomes like a figure that all the peacekeepers all fear. I mean,
Yeah,
he becomes this,
absolutely.
in a
Yeah.
way, this like holy man. In a way, it's crazy how well, not crazy, but it's so well done. How it's so well written. To say it's so
Yeah.
tight. You know,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
brilliant. Like how and its relationship with like with all of them. With I can't remember her name. Dargo. There we go. Dargo. I don't know why
Yeah.
I couldn't think of Dargo then. My
Yeah.
mind just went blank. Sorry. So Dargo, obviously at the start, they didn't. Well, I wouldn't say they got on at all really at the start, and
No, they
then their
didn't. No.
relationship went on, and it got stronger and stronger, and then. I mean, they became best friends, best of friends, and then Dargo. Well, obviously, Crichton named his child Dargo, isn't it?
Yeah,
After
that's quite a
Dargo.
sweet moment. It is quite an emotional thing where obviously where Dargo dies at the
Yeah.
end, and John Crichton doesn't want to say
Mhm.
they those two ended up having quite a nice camaraderie between each other.
Mhm.
And especially in like terms of like battles and sort of
Mhm.
shootouts and stuff. You kind of want those two there with you because it's that kind of camaraderie, sort of brothers in arms type thing, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah. No.
So
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
And it's quite. I mean, I like that you said that he had quite a nice character development because his main primary goal was to get back to Earth, but by the end of
Mhm.
the show, he actually just wants to stay in that galaxy with Aaron and
Yeah, it's kind of like obviously he went into the unknown and then had to live amongst the aliens. But then the
yeah,
thing is, he was with the aliens for so long that he became an alien himself, didn't he?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he couldn't go back to Earth. Basically,
No,
he
because yeah,
was
when he did go
no,
back to Earth, he didn't fit in.
no.
Which I like that episode actually where they do go back to Earth because I quite like Chiana in that episode.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
just
yeah.
like wants to eat everything and have sex with everyone and like
It's
you
when
know.
she thinks the middle finger is like a hello way of saying hello or something, doesn't she?
Yeah, yeah,
She doesn't
yeah.
understand what it means.
No,
Just uses it.
I love Chiana. I love
Yeah.
Chiana. I mean, I love all of them. I can't say I have a favorite because I just Dargo's my favorite and like Chiana's my favorite. And although one character I didn't really like is the curly haired
Oh,
one,
Jewel, isn't it? Jules.
Jules. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't really get into her if I'm
Mhm.
honest. Her character. Uh,
I like the way she screams ah when she does that.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think she didn't really bring anything to them. I
Mhm.
think, although I mean, I quite like Zan, and I think when Zan left, I think,
Yeah. Well, obviously we learnt then. Obviously, the Zan was actually a plant.
yeah. But again, it's just
So,
wacky and surreal. Like,
yeah, yeah,
one of the main characters is a plant. It's just brilliant.
yeah, yeah.
I love her though because she's so spiritual and
Hmm.
so spiritual and calm. Do you know what I mean? Um, so
Yeah. My favorite character is Rigel. I'm gonna say it. I just like again, obviously because he's a puppet, but also I think he's just hilarious, and he farts
he is her.
helium.
Yeah, yeah. I quite like that. Sorry, isn't it? He gets stuck in a little gets stuck in a tight space with I think it is Jules, isn't it? Or is it
Right.
or Chiana that he
I
gets
think it's no,
stuck?
it's normally Chiana he gets involved with, isn't it? With things when things go wrong. I think it's Chiana, yeah.
And like he farts because he's nervous, and then like
Yeah, yeah, no, it is Chiana. Yeah, I know, yeah.
yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and then her voice goes high because of the helium. he gets ill a lot because he eats so much as well. He one of his sort of things about his species, he has 2 stomachs, doesn't it? Isn't it?
Or was it 3? I think.
3 stomachs, yeah. He has,
Mm.
but so he eats loads, but then he ends up getting ill and stuff.
I just find he's like an old man. He just makes me laugh. Like, you know, he's very like, screw it, or you know what I mean. Oh, I
Yeah,
hate, you know, he'll tell him if he hates someone, I can't stand him, I hate Starburst, you know. That's what I like about him. I just find him like he's like a funny old man.
he is a funny old man. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh bless him. Gotta love Rigel. He's kind of like a wacky version of Yoda, really, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, I'd say that wacky version of Yoda. Um, Also talking about though key episodes. I want to talk about obviously the last 2 episodes, which was
Mm.
technically a separate series in some respects, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
Peacekeeper Wars. Because that was due to because obviously I kept telling you, wait to, but because you got confused, I think at the end as well, like I did. Like, was that the end, or what's Peacekeeper Wars? Is that like some
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
spin off? But obviously, it's basically just a story continuing, but it's because technically the series got cancelled,
mm.
which is crazy because was it the end of season 4 got cancelled, wasn't it? So basically, they had to put in these they're basically films, aren't they? The end, the Peacekeeper Wars, they're basically like films just to sum it all up
Yeah,
for all the fans. Because at the end of season 4, isn't it? It's basically Crichton and Aaron basically get shot down, and then that's it. And
yeah,
then I mean, all I was thinking about at that time was if you were back in, I think it was 2003 that finished mine. I think you would have been so gutted that was the end of your show.
yeah, yeah,
Such a cliffhanger, you know what I mean? So I'm so, in some respect, I'm so happy we watched it when we watched it. So then at least we didn't have to feel the pain of that, that giant cliffhanger of nothing.
yeah, yeah. And like obviously the 2 main characters effectively dying.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah,
like,
literally.
oh, what a
Yeah.
way to end it. It didn't really end on a happy note.
No, exactly. But then, of course, at the Peacekeeper Wars, which was, I felt, really did just sum up the whole season for us. I think it was needed. We had, of course, we got to learn more about why the Peacekeepers are called the Peacekeepers and why
Yeah,
they were originally the good guys, and then obviously, explains why they became the villains of the galaxy, which was interesting to learn, and also it was just nice to have. It was. I mean, obviously, it was sad as well that at the finish and we lost some friends on the way, but also it's had a nice finish to it, didn't it? A nice end of the story. Again, it was, if it was a book, it just tied in all nicely, I felt.
yeah,
And that's what
yeah.
I felt that the Peacekeeper Wars did. It wasn't rushed either. I felt it was just what we
Just
needed,
yeah.
just to
If
put to bed sort of thing,
yeah, if anything, I mean, yeah, 4 seasons was enough.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
yeah, but no, it was a nice way of ending it.
Hmm.
Um,
But then, obviously, with production wise on the last 2 episodes of the Peacekeeper Wars, obviously there are some alterations as we were talking about before, because the pilot's voice actually changes.
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that's due to apparently the voice effect that they used on pilot's voice throughout the whole show was actually deleted. So they had to try and make a new one
Right.
that was
Yeah, I remember
close
you
to
saying.
it. Because I was thinking, is it a new actor or something? And then I had to Google it and said, no, it's the same guy. It's just they had to use a different effect on his voice.
Yeah. What I quite like as well, is, a bit of trivia, is that the guy who voiced Pilot is
Mhm.
also a main character, isn't he? He plays what's his name? What's his name? The guy with the
Um,
beard. The
oh,
one that,
it's I keep wanting to say Craig for some reason. It's not Craig. It's like Craig, though, isn't it? It's
Crace.
Craig. That's it. I always
Yeah.
call him Craig. I don't know why.
Craig.
Craig.
Yeah. Plays Craigman.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, it's him, isn't it? Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
that. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
voices Pilot, but he's also
Uh-huh.
plays Crace,
Mhm.
who's another sort of a bad guy, but then turns good guy. In a way.
Yeah. Well, then, I don't know. I never really trusted him at all. Like, even when he turned good, it was like, I'm watching
Yeah.
you, son.
Yeah. Well, a bit the same with Scorpius, really, is it? When he always had,
Mhm.
he was all about the betrayal and the Scorpius.
Well, they had to be careful, didn't they? Because obviously the power of these wormholes could have affected everyone, couldn't it? Even the bad guys. And I think that's what happened. Really, was this knowledge? Because that's what it's all about. They all trying to get into Crichton's head because he has knowledge, obviously, of wormholes and things, doesn't he?
Mm,
And they're
yeah.
trying to get it off him, and they obviously they can't, because no one should know that power. No one should have. And then I think I can't remember what they're called, but it's these weird guardians of the wormhole thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. The when he goes through one and he ends up and it's like this guy, like a time
Yeah.
god thing.
I know. Oh, yeah, I know.
It's so bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
And basically explains him, like, they kind of like a Spider-Man moment. Great power comes great responsibility of knowing this knowledge, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and that becomes obviously a big part of the story, that we don't want anyone to know this knowledge, because this could be dangerous for not just planet Earth, but for everyone. You
Mm.
know, and that's one thing as well. Actually, Crichton does, because in a way, like we talked about, he becomes an alien himself to go back to Earth, but also he needs to either warn Earth or try and hide Earth from everyone. He doesn't want people to see Earth because he
Yeah.
knows mankind's not ready for it.
Yeah. He tries to stop them finding Earth, isn't it? And
Yeah, yeah,
you know, and he even
yeah,
tells his dad, don't, because his dad's a spaceman himself, a sort of
yeah, yeah.
not a spaceman, but he works in the space program, and
Mhm.
he when they go back to it, he tries to convince the Earth people that you don't want to go out there, you need to stay,
Mhm.
don't go out into space.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
which, I mean, it puts it into perspective, really. I mean, it's what I know we're all about, sort of, in this day and age, sort of exploring what's out in space, but actually there could be
Mm.
something out there that could
Mhm.
potentially kill us all.
Yeah. Well, there was something. It was like a probe that was sent into space, and it has. I was watching a documentary about it. I don't know what it's called, but basically, it has information inside it, and it has like things from our world. So,
Yeah.
just like Game Boys, or like pop culture references,
Ah, right. Yeah.
science and things. And also, apparently, it also has a map to the world, a map to Earth as well. It has coordinates of how to find us. Which
Really?
makes me think, like, have you ever seen the film Pixel? I think Pixel did it, because there's a film called Pixel. It's like a modern day B movie. Pixel is, and it's with Adam Sandler.
Adam.
And
So I was gonna say, is the Adam
yeah,
Sandler
yeah.
one? Yeah.
So basically, it's kind of the same thing, where they put in things like Game Boys and things from like pop culture references, and basically the aliens think that our culture's based on like Space Invaders and
Yeah. Mm,
Pac-Man and all that. So that's why they use them in order to invade Earth, because they think that's what we use. And in
mm,
the end, obviously, Adam Sandler managed to defeat him because he's so knowledgeable with the games. But anyway, I always think of that idea of, if we do that, one of the aliens like learns too much about us and then come and find us. And you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it has got that. They reckon now, well, last time I saw a documentary was like a year ago, but at that time it was like it's got as far into space where they would be able to hear, because obviously radio transmissions travel through space, and they go years and years on, into the universe. Kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of Futurama.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Futurama,
Yeah. Yes.
single female lawyer, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
they're still watching shows from the 1990s, and then obviously
Yeah.
it cuts out in the year 3000. So that sort of thing. And they reckon if the alien or whatever managed to capture the probe, wherever it was in space now, they would also be able to receive a signal of Hitler's speech as well at the same time, they reckon.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
like things like that. It's interesting, isn't it?
It is interesting. It is
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
But yeah. But
Mm.
I mean, go back to characters. I just want to touch on the two sort of, I guess, main people is obviously John Crichton and
Mm-hmm.
Erin.
Yeah.
For me, I quite like that because those two are actually in Stargate SG-1 together.
Yes, yeah.
In the last couple of series of SG-1, he plays Colonel Mitchell, and she plays Vala Maldoran.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, watching Farscape, and then obviously coming from like watching Stargate, it is quite weird sort of seeing those, because I didn't know those two were in Farscape together, and obviously then they went to SG1 together. It was quite cool sort of seeing them two, but also in a weird way, it was like, I know I'm watching John Crichton, but he is actually Colonel Mitchell, if that makes sense. Or like,
yeah.
she's Erin, but actually I know her as Vala Maldoran.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I wanted to say about that, though, was that's quite nice. They actually, for Stargate SG1's 100th episode, or was it 100th episode? Or no, it wouldn't have been 500th episode or 200th. Anyway, Stargate reached a milestone of episodes, and they did like a spoof episode where they would spoof different things. I think they spoofed Team America World Police and the Wizard of Oz, but also they actually did make reference to Farscape, because those two were in Farscape. In the 100th, I'm pretty sure it's the 100th episode of. My sister will be able to tell me of Stargate. They actually do make a reference to Farscape, and because I think the idea is that obviously the Stargate takes them all these places, and I think it takes them to the Farscape ship, and there's all the Farscape crew, and it's quite
wow!
fun. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll have to see if I can get the clip and send it to you.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I need to watch. That's one thing. Stargate. I actually haven't seen Stargate, so I will.
Very close to my heart.
I mean, I think you gave me a copy of the first 3 seasons, I think. So I am gonna try and watch them while I'm away as well. When I have time, I will try and start it and then go
it
from
is
there.
good.
Basically,
yeah.
Because I've heard so much, and obviously from yourself, you always go on about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, talk about references. But I mean, Farscape has lots of references as well to science fiction shows, which is great. Like, it talks about, he sometimes references Star Wars. Like he'll say things like, Yoda, little green man, or things like that. Or he says something like, I know he references. He says, "Oh, can you get the tractor beam?" And they're like, "What's a tractor beam?" And in the end, they have their own word for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few Star Trek references, isn't
Yeah.
and Star Wars.
Or I think he says something like, "I don't speak Klingon" or something like that as well. Yeah. There's a lot with, and that's why I love it, because obviously you got to remember this was like late '90s, early 2000s as well. So things like there were obviously still Trekkies, watching TV, and it was that time of when people used to watch TV all together. It wasn't like we had Netflix and Amazon Primes and all that. It was literally you had to watch TV and wait, for the next episode every week. So it was that culture of so people who would have watched Farscape would have been sci-fi nerds. I think now we can open the doors to more people now because it's more accessible. As in people would watch Star Wars for the first time or Star Trek for the first time now and never even thought about watching it, just because it's so easy to watch it now, and just binge it. Whereas years ago, I guess it had the effort, to actually make sure you didn't miss it. Because you've missed an episode, you'd be like, oh no, I don't know what's going on now. I have to tape it on my VHS.
It's good that we have sort of things like streaming services, because I think whenever you think of sci-fi, you sort of think of the main sort of ones: Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate. But there are so many underrated sci-fi TV shows. Obviously we've talked about Battlestar Galactica. Now we're talking about Farscape. Things like Firefly as well, like so underrated. And to be like a true sci-fi fan, you need to watch the ones that aren't talked about so much. And Farscape is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you on that. Yeah. No, it definitely is one of them. I agree with that. Yeah. I think as well, just production as a whole, I think it has it all. I know I've already said it, but I mean, the lighting is fantastic. Like the way it's just the feel it gives off. I think mise en scène as a whole. I mean, the set design, incredible. I mean, like I said, amazing. I mean, it is art. Like the amazing artistic minds that built. Because Farscape. I mean, what do you call it? It's like Starcape or something. Then
Starcape.
Farscape. is just like visually incredible. Like this is a
Mm.
whole world that they built, not just obviously with the storyline and the characters and the plots and blah 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 and the languages. It's also, visually as well. Someone's had to pick certain colors, the right sounds. I mean, the music as well. You got to think of. I mean, I love the theme as well. It is brilliant. The way it starts. you know but
Yeah,
the sounds throughout the whole episodes as well. It's the music in the background and the way just the way things make noises in like on the bridge or wherever. It's just spot on,
it
absolute
is.
spot on.
I think as well where it's quite genius where it's set as well. The fact that like I mean I've said it before, like the fact that their ship is a living being, and it is
Hmm.
quite nice because the ship gets ill and then they have to figure out ways to make the ship better. And
I love
you know,
how they have a relationship with the ship, so called, because obviously
yeah,
they call her Moira. That's her name.
Moira, that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah, Moira.
yeah. And I just
Um,
love the fact that they have this, and in some ways, it's kind of like, in some respects, is that Farscape's way of like putting some thought-provoking elements in it as well? Is it like the idea of obviously loving your own planet and things, you know what I mean?
mm,
And the fact the way
absolutely.
they treat Moira, as she is rightly so a living being, and also she is she's their world, isn't she? She's literally, their guardian in some way. She takes them. She is the captain in some respects. Moira is, I know you have pilot and you have, obviously, you can argue anyone else could be captain, but Moira is in charge, really. Moira is the one who decides where to go, and you know, and she has
Yeah,
feelings, and we
yeah.
learn that how she has feelings and things, and I said she can get really ill.
Mm, mm. Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, it is nice that they have that sort of relationship, and they have to. What I quite like is there's pilot is kind of like the middleman, really, I guess,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because there's times where Moira doesn't want to hang around for if they're down on a planet or something, and like
Hmm.
if she's in danger, then she's like, I'm gonna have to leave them behind. But like pilot's like trying to convince her to stay for them.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And like especially when she has the baby as well, the baby ship,
Hmm.
because Erin names him after her father, doesn't she? Um,
Yes. Which is I always forget the names now.
yeah, I always forget the names.
Uh Talon, isn't it? Yeah, Talon.
Talon, yeah,
That's it,
like,
Talon.
and because Talon's been made for sort of war and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and so. But then it's quite nice that Erin has a good relationship with Talon, and like tries to sort of
Hmm.
you know um, I don't know what the word is. She tries to sort of unite
Hmm.
Talon and Moira because
Hmm.
do you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just so. It's so nice that they actually have their own consciousnesses.
Because
It's not just a ship.
Talon was basically born to fight, wasn't he? That's the
Yeah.
idea as well. Obviously, he is. I mean, he is in the show a freak of nature. Is the idea, isn't it?
Mm,
They obviously they change him so because they're not supposed to have weapons, are they? That's the idea. They're meant to be peaceful
mm,
ships that just take aliens around the universe, and Talon then became an actual, but born to be a war machine, like. So and that's what was interesting. Obviously, Moira had to like try to. Well, it must be difficult for her, and in some ways, it's weird. You start feeling sorry for a ship.
yeah.
It's like that's a ship, and I feel really sorry for her.
Yeah. But
That's
that's lovely.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
lovely
yeah,
that there's that element to the show
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Like
Hmm.
it's in like Moira is a ship, but is also like in a way a main character herself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, yeah. I had Moira actually as my wallpaper on my phone for ages.
Did you? Ah,
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
nice.
So, wow, I think we've covered everything. Actually, I
Yeah.
think
Definitely watch if you're a sci-fi fan. Definitely watch Farscape. It is very very good.
100%, 100%. You don't, yeah, you don't want to miss out on it. I'd say
No,
100%. Do not
no.
want to miss out on it.
And you can catch it on Prime Video in the UK if you're watching in the UK.
Yeah. Right then, folks. So,
Yes.
we're gonna. Oh, when I get it going. I never get it going right. I said after 25 episodes, you think I get start getting it right now. But look at them images there, though. Look at that.
I know.
That's just perfect. I absolutely love this show. Amazing.
So many good characters. You can't not like another character. Do you know what I mean? I know I didn't really like Jules, but like, I couldn't pick a favorite character because I like them all. I like Doug, I like Chiana, I like Zan, I like John.
Yeah. Right then, folks. So that has
Yes.
come to the end now of episode 25. You could be listening. Oh, sorry, watching us. Got it wrong again. You could be watching us
for season 2. You better learn.
You could be watching us on Facebook group, of course, at MNDHQ, or watching us on our YouTube channel. Type in Matt and Dan House of Quark. You find us there, or listening to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Anchor, Breaker, and of course Overcasts and Pocket Casts as well. Now, Dan, I'm going to end the show now a little bit differently. I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So this is the last one.
Excited.
As I said, folks, I'm going to be going now back on my cruise ship. But I will be back. Don't worry. Have no fear. I will be back, of course, in the future, and we will continue our sci-fi adventure together with me and Dan. Right, and Dan. So, if I get this working, I just want to end, which I believe is a great way of ending season 1 of Matt and Dan, the House of Quark. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I'm like with technology. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a long road getting from there to here, but my time is finally here. Alrighty then. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because that is the end of season 1 of Matt and Dan, House of Quark. Thank you all so much for your support. It's been absolutely amazing year. But don't worry, as I said, it's not the end. We will be back. But as we always say, and we'll keep saying it, live long
and
prosper.
prosper.